Hello, world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Toodaloo. Wait,
You're going with Toodaloo?
yes.
Okay.
What's wrong with that? Huh?
Nothing.
Can't I toodle my loos?
You do you, boo.
Don't make this rhyme.
You started it.
I started shit.
You did.
Yeah, but if I started it, Gamera will finish it.
Yep.
I just.
All right. So, welcome to the Mega Monster Cast, where we are going to be discussing episodes 5 and 6 of Kaiju number 8. With me are Alex and Josh,
Hello.
Hello there.
and we are going to discuss is you, which is definitely our safest bet for a positive review most weeks.
That's right.
And this coming off the heels of some positive reviews.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like Gunhead.
we've
I
gotten
quit
a
the
lot of
podcast.
We've gotten a lot of mileage out of Gunhead. I'm just gonna say that. We've gotten a shit ton of mileage out of a
You know-
really bad movie.
If you're gonna be a bad movie, be it spectacularly, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Gunhead did it.
Oh, 100%. Gunhead was
And this is one of those. And on the other side of that coin is things that do spectacularly positively. Kaiju number
Oh,
8.
Gunhead.
Uh, Ultraman was great. Josh
Yep.
is no longer a member of this podcast.
I'm a founding father.
Yep.
God damn it, this is turning into just like the Social Network.
You're gonna get thrown out by Zuckerberg.
Wait a minute. Does
Yeah.
that make? Wait a minute. Am I Zuckerberg in this equation?
Wait. Okay, so which one am I then? Am I Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake? Am I bringing sexy
Oh.
back?
Yes.
I thought y'all were going for the role of the twins,
Winklevoss twins.
the Winklevoss twins.
Fuck it. But yeah.
Can't
Let's
be
talk
that
about
I was gonna go Andrew Garfield.
fair. So let's
That
talk about
literal scene where he gets kicked out.
yeah.
bad.
So let's talk about Kaiju number 8. What is again largely our most like safe bet for positive reviews each week.
Yeah.
I feel like you give me enough positive things to watch that you actually are trying to make me watch shit sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, 100. The Gunhead was. We knew Gunhead was going to be bad. I told you Gunhead was bad going into it. I
We
told you that was
knew.
going to be bad going into it. I've already
He
said
did. He
Mika
did tell
Droid
me.
is also going to be bad when we get to that one.
Oh,
I'm not. That one's going to be rough, but that one's at least short. That's a little over an hour.
God, there's a lot to say. Like you said, Gunhead got a lot of mileage. It sometimes it's there's a lot to say.
Oh yeah, and we have a lot to say about Kaiju number 8 this week.
I think
So this week, Kafka and Ishikawa are officially members of the Kaiju Defense Force.
spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the episode starts. The episode starts with them
No,
getting their letters.
But they play with your emotions.
Mhm.
They don't have like, oh, I wonder where Sensei is.
Yep. Well, I mean,
I will say, I was watching these episodes under a time crunch. For those watching live, there was a intermission. Um, so I had a choice to skip the intro, and I couldn't do it.
no, that intro's too good.
The intro is so good. Every time I watch it, I pick up a new detail as well. Like the metamorphosis um, motifs in that intro bit are really interesting. I would love to see if they're just for show or if they're narrative points. Like, cause like, it's a trope in so many of the animes that are out there to spoil everything in the first in the pilot's intro. We saw Goku blue, I think, in like episode 30 of Super, like well before Red was established and everything.
Well, I mean, you also see
Oh.
that when the movie was released.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that was spoiled by
So-
the fact that it was a movie before that.
But I really enjoy the intro. I couldn't skip it. The song is great. Still loving it.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic. I would say like across the board, the music is good in this show. Like truly,
Yeah.
this has an amazing soundtrack.
I was literally thinking like as I was watching the in the intro, how hard would it be to make a cover of this? Not I don't think it would be too hard, honestly,
No.
because a lot of it's synthetic instruments.
Yeah.
So but it's really well done. I think the voice would be the most fun aspect of it. Though
Oh yeah.
I want to pick your brain, and Josh, you're disqualified from this because you don't like to play nice. Um, in the
I
intro,
play
there's
nice.
you don't play nice. You don't. We know this.
And now you're
Shut your mouth.
encouraging it.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Uh, in the intro, there's a metamorphosis, like when they're doing the kaleidoscope bit between what looks like blood and then it turns into like axe blades.
Yeah.
Do you think that's gonna play in narratively?
So I think that technically is
That
referenced in this episode. I think
Yeah.
there's a conversation that plays with that actually.
Okay. Oh well,
'Cause
we'll
there's
hold off
something.
on that. Like bring it back up when we get there because I
Uh-huh.
think I missed it.
It's the
no.
conversation. I'm just gonna tell you, it's the conversation between Kafka, Kikoru, and Ichikawa. There's like a conversation
Oh
between the three of them, and
yeah,
she
at the
drops.
diner.
Yeah, she drops a huge plot point that I think they just kind of like brush past. That's
Brush.
really
I think they
important.
must have because I didn't catch anything like highly significant
Oh,
there.
dude,
So
there's like a big point that gets brought up in my opinion.
okay, so we'll get
Yeah,
there in like a few moments actually. But
yeah.
let's go ahead and continue on with our
Well, yeah.
with the
So
plot.
we get the letters. Obviously, we get that amazing intro, which again, fantastic animation. Love it across the board.
I think I want to see more of that 3D model version of Kaiju number 8
Hmm.
because when he's in like when it like goes into that last shot of Kafka in the Kaiju form, I'm just like he looks cool. He
Oh
looks
yeah,
really cool in anime. He looks badass in 3D.
I
Yeah,
think
and
we're
usually the 3D models suck ass.
yeah. No, honestly, they did a fantastic job with this. The spider kaiju too looks honestly pretty good in
The
this.
Spider Kaiju looks better in 3D than in anime. Like I want more of
No,
it.
Yep.
no, it could still die. It could never come back. That'd be great. It could be a new. They could add a new kaiju there.
Hmm.
I'd be okay.
But yeah, so then
Fucking
we
hate
So
spiders.
so after the intro, we get the letter opening scene.
yeah yeah, and then
This is where we get the spoiler alert.
well, we get the next scene after that, after they get like their letters
Yep.
saying that they were both accepted. We don't know for sure, but I mean, like it's obvious that they're both accepted. Um,
No, they roll credits. This is where the
yep,
series ends. We're
yep,
done.
yep. No, Kafka goes on a villain arc after this. No, so then we get the
No,
scene.
it's just 16 episodes of him cleaning up kaiju shit.
Honestly, I'd watch that show.
Yeah,
At this rate, I
I would
probably would
too.
too.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we get like what I think is a lot of really fun interactions between characters where like this like ceremony for them being accepted into the Kaiju Defense Force,
Yeah.
we see like a lot of the start of rivalries, which I really appreciate because we have I never remember their names.
I love the interaction between them as far as like it's not all just like oh yeah you're gonna top me well I'm gonna top you like there's literally a dynamic here that I really appreciate as well.
Oh yeah, and like every rivalry feels different. It's not like they're butting heads. Like Ichikawa's is clearly like he's just pushing himself, and this other guy sees him as a challenge to like match or exceed. To like, oh god, he's catching up to me. I need to try to stay like a little bit ahead of him at least.
Yeah,
Which
good old shark tooth guy.
yep, I actually wrote
Yeah,
his name down. I still don't remember the names of the blonde guy and the dude with like the blue green hair,
I was
But
gonna say, like, if you, I was gonna write down the teal haired
Mhm.
guy. That dude, I love that guy. I fucking love that
yeah,
guy.
he's fun.
He is so my energy. I'm just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. I, I'm so into it. I hope he doesn't die.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
so worried.
this show is definitely setting up that as a possibility.
Oh
But
yeah, they even say it like, hey, don't get attached. And I think that they were talking to us, the audience,
mhm.
at that moment, not just Kafka. We'll
Well,
get to it.
we actually get a lot of
Yeah, no, they're
characters.
all gonna die.
We get a lot of characters in this scene who have like character design, and even characters we haven't spent a whole lot of time with. Like, we
Yeah.
also get the blue-haired woman who I don't think we've really taught like
Have we
interacted
even
with
seen
much.
her?
I think we've seen her. I think she showed up in the last episode, maybe.
I'm I am I am calling her Bulla at this point because she eats like a Saiyan.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Uh,
Oh, that one,
yeah, the blue-haired
the
woman
big
who
one.
I think she's friends with Kikaru. I think we
Yes,
get more
she is
scenes with her.
Kikuru's friend.
But I like that this
I
scene.
wanted I wanted more of that interaction too. That was
Yeah,
funny.
I like that this scene though sets up like there's three main rivalries in the show. There's
Mhm.
the teal-haired guy and the blonde guy are obviously like the go-getters because they're both like right under, well, not right underneath, like underneath Kikaru, but like still ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, but I love the modesty that my man shows for all this. Is like, I guess we're all competing for the second spot, and he's like, I did number one in the fitness exam. You
Yep.
can go for number two.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh,
Oh yeah,
okay.
no.
Okay,
Yeah, he's just immediately like,
kind of
no,
an
go.
ass.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I actually tried. If it came down to stuff without a suit, I would kick all of your asses.
Well, and then too,
Oh,
like we see in the first spa scene, or the sauna scene, that the only guy, like my man in teal, is sitting there just fine,
Yep.
whatever, just chill as fuck.
look at it.
And every and the blonde guy comes in,
And he's a wall of fucking muscle.
and he is loaded. Dude be swole. Puts everybody to shame. Everybody freaks out, and the dude in teal is
They're
the only
hiding
one
under the
there
water.
who literally is not trying to compete at all, and that's what makes it stand out. He's just like, whatever, you fucking pansies.
Yep. He's like, no, I'm comfortable in my body. You can go fuck off.
Yeah, that
They're
dude.
like, is
I'm telling
old
you,
man secretly
favorite
ripped?
character,
Oh, okay. So we're
favorite,
skipping ahead though. We're
favorite
skipping ahead.
character.
We're skipping too far
Uh,
ahead because we got like some good scenes in that
It's
acceptance
true.
ceremony
No,
before
it's
that.
true.
Because we got
oh,
I wanted to die.
mhm.
I'm okay skipping this scene if we want to.
No. So I like I like the scene because it sets up a real good dynamic right away, and it deals with
yeah.
one of my favorite characters, the vice captain, who I've decided is like upper tier for this show.
Oh, he's S
Oh,
tier for sure.
Mhm.
dude, the minute that he shows off what he can do, I was like, oh, this is exactly the character I would roll.
Oh, dude, he's so good. He's so good.
I'm like,
But we're
he
getting way
doesn't
too far
even
ahead.
move. He doesn't even move, just katana death.
Yep, we're getting like this is like super far ahead
This is,
though at that
this
point.
is, yeah.
That's the
I'm
end of the
sorry.
next
I'm
Stop.
episode.
sorry. I'm excited.
No, it's good. It's good. I get it.
It's like you watched ahead or something.
But
No,
no,
no, I watched exactly what was prescribed to me.
so Kikaru
This
is
is why I don't watch forward, because the minute that I watch to episode 9, I'm like, we're in episode 5, 6, be like, well, did you see what he did in 9?
so Kikaru
I didn't do that.
is
Shut your
called
mouth.
up by Mina because she is the representative of the new officers.
She
Uh,
literally gets the valedictorian treatment. Like, you're
oh yeah.
going to give a speech, right?
Well, I mean, considering like they
Uh,
talk about her unleashed potential score, like she deserves it. That shit's crazy. Uh, yeah. So we have
yeah.
her taking the acceptance speech, and she feels really fucking guilty going up on that. Like she is
Yeah.
almost ashamed to be up there because she's aware that Kafka's the one that did the heavy lifting, not her. And she is humiliated by being up there, knowing that even though she's better than everyone else there, Kafka still beat her.
There's
I think there's a lot to
there's
be
a
said, too, about the fact that she points out that, and he didn't treat me like a little girl.
Yep.
he what am I
Kind
doing?
of does though. He does.
I
He
know,
straight up calls her that.
not in that moment. Like
No.
I think from that point on, he treats her like someone to be admired.
Yep.
Honestly, like not, and we get one scene where he's kind of being like the fanboy thing, and it's played up for laughs,
Mhm.
but like I think he respects her and actually wants to encourage her,
Yep.
even though he's like maybe not in a position to be giving the most like, "Hey, you did a great job." Like,
Well,
but
he kind of does that with everyone though.
Yeah.
He
No,
wants his team to succeed.
yeah,
I
he's
really
the
love that
supportive.
he's being
It's
played up
after this
as a team player.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's so that actually touches on the next point I want to bring up, which is when Kafka shows up, we get a flashback showing that he failed to get in, and that it was only because the vice captain specifically said, "No, we need to let him in," that he was accepted.
I think that Mina was about to do it before the vice captain did.
I don't know that she was. I think
Well,
that
Yeah.
I think that she
well,
wasn't going to. I think he was the one that pushed for it, and she wouldn't have.
well, because he interrupts her. She says, "I don't," and then he interrupts her and just takes it off her hands. I think that she was gonna make a very soft spoken case
Mhm.
for Kafka being admitted. Uh, that's how I read the situation. And she didn't have to because the vice captain went ahead and did it for her.
Mhm.
But because she kind of was speaking out at that moment, and it's clear that she was interrupted
Mhm.
by the subtitles.
I can see that. But yeah, I love all the points
Because I
that.
think she's still, because I think there's another line in this, I think it's in this episode. No, it's actually in the second episode. Where I think this kind of interaction plays. I think she does want
Him to
it
be
would be
there.
too easy. Yeah, yes, exactly. I think it would be way too easy for like a shonen style show to set up where she doesn't want any part of him being here.
Mhm.
She and he had like a falling out, and I don't think that's present in this show. I think
No.
that she would have actually given a like
They sh-
half-hearted, if a little disingenuous, plea to have him join as a cadet.
See,
If
she's
if the
still
vice
a
captain
little
had,
she still has resentment for him though.
I
I don't
That's
know if
very clear.
I don't know if
So
it's I don't know if it's resentment for him or resentment for just the way things played out.
it's for him failing and not going as
mhm.
far as she did.
and
But
'Cause,
does she blame
uh,
him for that, or
and see, I
I
would make
think she does,
but
and
she
she
blames
blames
him
herself
for
too.
something he's not really in control of?
well, okay, so I think that personally, I think so. We see like the big selling point that the vice captain pushes on is that Kafka is just far more knowledgeable than anyone else. I think that she would have pushed for him
Honestly,
to
that was
join.
like a tertiary point. He actually kind of makes the point of like him being an addition to the team, like being hilarious
Mhm.
and having been a team player as like the
Yep.
main sellers, and then
Well,
he like throws on top like he's the only one who knew.
yep. But it was his knowledge that helped support the others. In my the way I viewed it was
Definitely.
he was like, well, he knew all these things and he was willing to share that information. See, I think Mina would have pushed maybe that he joined the defense force, but not as like a field agent. I think
I
she probably would have pushed for him to be
in the
like
science
part of the
division.
research department or something.
Yeah, like don't get rid of him, put him somewhere else. He's
Yeah,
clearly not fit to be here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
He's
I think
not
Yeah.
she would
useful
have pushed
here,
for
but
that.
he is useful.
Yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
the vice captain's like, no, he still has use in the field. Like we need him out there because he's so knowledgeable and he's so
But it's also
capable of spreading that information.
right. And I think that brings it to the next bit that I wanted to talk about. I think this is a little bit of a an ulterior motive on the
Oh no,
vice
it
captain's part
100% it is. 100%.
because the vice captain might be the only one who observed the fact that Kafka's vital signs disappeared when Kaiju number 8 appeared.
Josh and I actually talked about that earlier today when I was doing my
Yep.
rewatch. We were both doing our rewatches. Eh,
Help me.
Well, I mean,
No,
you gotta
you
do.
were actually watching it when we
Yeah,
jumped on.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not that I would know or anything.
Yeah,
No.
we were talking about that, and I brought up that to Josh too, that the vice captain noticed that Kafka's vital signs disappeared when the 9.8 showed up. So it's
Yeah.
100% like he's aware that there's some sort of connection between the two.
Well, and they pay a good amount of that scene to him going like, I know there's something else going on here. I will find out what it is.
Oh yeah.
And I will get
And he shows himself several times in these next two or in these two episodes to be very far from incompetent. This guy
Oh,
is
yeah.
not to be trifled with. He
Yeah.
may look innocent. He's got some Rock Lee energy going on. Would not fuck with this
Whoa.
guy.
Oh yeah. No, this guy is obscenely like some of the stuff you find out towards the end of I think it's the next episode is just
How
crazy. Like his combat ability is up here.
Oh yeah. There's a reason why he's vice captain.
Hmm. But yeah, so then we flash back to Mina gives her speech, talks about specifically one of the points that I really liked is she brings up, hey, this is like kaiju are coming back from the dead now. We need to be aware of how dangerous this is. And then we get the cringe moment of the episode where Kafka says that he's gonna
I wanted to die.
where Kafka says he'll be by her side soon, calls her by her first name, and he is immediately punished and told he needs to do 100 push-ups in front of everyone.
He literally goes through the whole. Did I say that out loud?
Yep. Oh
There's a
crap.
lot of an embarrassment
Oh
in
yeah.
this show.
Oh yeah. No, Kafka has to go through some shit.
Ah, damn.
Yep.
It was all I could do not to hit skip forward. Like, I don't need to see this. It's fine. I get it.
Yep.
I put it. I actually did the opposite. I put it in rewind and started watching it over.
Well,
You
so
get
then
on my fame.
after that, Kikaru gets Kafka and Ichikawa away. They go down to was it like a cafe? I want to say.
Yeah, there's a little like coffee shop cafe thing.
And here's the
It
thing.
looked like an old school diner to
Yep.
me.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the thing that I was going to mention about that opening scene. Um, so Kikaru specifically says during this conversation that they take special kaiju and convert their bodies into weapons, like
Well,
special
we already knew
weapons.
that because the suits are made
No,
of kaiju
but
flesh.
she says weapons too. And
Are the
based
suits not
off
weapons?
of, yeah, she says weapons.
Yeah, but
And
are the suits not weapons?
I think so. Episode two,
no,
the episode two thing, the two blades, well, not episode
Mm-hmm.
two, the episode six thing, I think those are made out of kaiju. I think those are special blades made out of special grade kaiju.
that actually would explain a few things.
It wouldn't be surprising considering they've been establishing that
Mhm.
a lot.
Well, and I think like, so because they also, this is jumping way ahead, they talk about, if I'm remembering right, yeah, specialized gear is made to suit captains and vice captains' combat styles. So I think they
I
take
think the word
special
they actually
kaiju.
use is I think the word they use is actually tailored.
Yep. Yeah, fair. But I think that like those
Gotta get that
blades were
inseam.
specifically designed for him, using a kaiju to match his weapon style. Yeah. So that's where I think that that element comes from in that opening. The
Uh,
blood turning into the blades is, I think, a reference to them converting kaiju parts into their equipment.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think you don't have to make a large leap to make that association.
Yep. Then we get Kikaru obviously not knowing whether or not she trusts Kafka. Like she does, but she's also concerned because this guy's still a kaiju.
Kaiju in the Defense Force.
Yep. And then we cut to the training drills, which during this
Yeah.
I wrote down all the numbers for their unleashed potential. Because during this we find out that Ichikawa has gone up to 18% unleashed potential. So he's made a 10% jump. Iharu, the pink-haired guy, is at 20%, so he's made a 6%. Yeah, he's made a 6% increase, I think. Kikaru is at 55%, so she's over a half of the potential of the suit unlocked. And then the blonde and teal-haired guys are both at 25%, so they've both made like 5 to 7% increases, I think. And Kafka has officially made it to 1% of his suit unlocked.
And is really excited
I
about
turned that 0 to a 1.
Yep, he starts chasing
Tell me
her.
I'm awesome.
Yep, chases Kikaru around, demanding that he hears he's awesome.
And Vice Captain starts yelling at him.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey,
you'll get kicked out."
Yeah, it's like, with that kind of increase, you're gonna get kicked out if you don't hurry up.
He's got a time limit too. He's got 3 months to do it.
Yep, 3 months. I wrote that down specifically. 3 months to shape up, or he's gone. So how did you guys like this
montage.
like first drill scene? Because I really like, again, it does a good job of setting up those rivalries more. Like we saw them in that opening scene, but this is like seeing how the different rivalries are going to shape up, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't linger on it too long, though.
Yeah, no, like it's a part of the characters, but it's not all of the characters are. And then we get the spa scene, the sauna scene, the functional muscles of a working man scene. I wrote that down specifically.
Yeah.
Because Kafka does a really good job of flexing as hard as he can, and he impresses everybody until he has to take a breath, and then he gets flabby again.
Oh, man. Back when I was just kind of fat, I know that feeling. Suck it in. Suck it in.
Yep.
Better suck it up before you suck it in.
Now, if I suck it up, I still look fat as fuck.
And obviously we get like the scene where the blonde guy comes in. I got to learn the rest of their names, but it's hard keeping track of all these names being thrown at us at once.
It's fine. They're gonna be dead in a few episodes anyway.
Yeah.
You're talking about the blonde buff guy, right?
Yeah.
Aoi.
Okay. Yeah. So here's something that I actually like really appreciated from this episode and from this show in general, because we cut to the women's bath, and they're not in it. Like they're getting ready to take their bath, but we never actually have a scene with the female characters in there, which I feel like a lot of other shows would have like played with that and made it really gratuitous, and instead it's just them kind of having a conversation before they're going to take their bath.
Well, I think they were even in like the laundry too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it didn't take the obligatory. Oh well, you see the men in the spa. Like, of course, you're gonna see some naked girls. Like,
yeah,
you get that tasteful soap and steam effect.
Yeah, no, I like that it went that route where it didn't do the lowest common denominator moment.
Yeah.
Although it does play with the fangirl moment where Kikaru is just staring at Mina's muscles.
Oh my god, your muscles. They're so
where did you get
strong.
Yeah.
You know what? I grew them myself.
Yep. I'll show you how to.
Hey, you ever shot a gun? You want to go to the
Which
gun show?
Yeah. I will say it speaks to who I am, like as a person, deeply. That when Mina tells Kikaru she'll show her workout, I like got a little bit disappointed that I didn't actually get to see it.
Jesus.
Yep. Like, oh, that would have been fun for me. But no, then we
Just so you
cut.
could criticize One Punch Man all over again.
Yeah. But no, so then we cut
100.
back to the men. Uh, they've had they're having a
Are we gonna ever
conversation.
see Kikaru without her hair up in two buns or
Uh,
two?
it'll be in
No,
a dramatic moment where she is about to die.
It's
and
true.
her
You
hair
know what?
just
Yep.
Totally right.
Uh,
on fire.
but I also like we get this scene where all the guys are talking about what inspired them to join the Kaiju Defense Force, and every single one of them says Mina. Every one of them has like one reason or another why she was the one that inspired them.
And
Yep.
boy, when Kafka gets his
Yep.
story out,
Yep, his is the culminating moment where like he talks about how he grew up with her, and they all lose their minds and start fanboying and asking questions about her.
you were her friend.
Yep, yep. Iharu is just freaking out, like almost frothing at the mouth, wanting to know more about her. It's so well
Even
done.
my teal-haired guy, he loses his cool too.
Yep, yep. Which just goes to show, like, realistically in this world, she's probably like on par with a rock star in terms of, oh, she's the head of the Kaiju Defense Force.
Well,
She's
yeah.
the most important
Ichikawa
person.
refers to her as like our generation's superhero.
Yep.
That's good. She is.
Yeah. She literally has a super suit and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, and then everyone gets lightheaded and passes out because they stay in there too long, and Ichikawa was the only one, and he's like
They're
standing there fanning
fanning them
them.
off.
Yep.
Ichikawa for the win yet again.
Yep. And then we
Yep,
get
he
our
is best boy.
Yep. And then we get our 3-month training montage,
Gotta do it in a montage.
which I didn't write much for the montage. Like, it's a good montage, but the two things I wrote were blonde guy benches like 365 pounds. Kafka struggles with 135. And
Pretty sure
Kafka
we were
still
going to see him
can't.
struggle with the bar
Yep.
itself.
And
Hey, wait,
Kafka.
whoa! I've never felt more seen, and how dare you?
And the other one is Kafka still can't pick up the rifle.
I saw that part too.
Yeah, there's that part where he's just desperately trying to pick it up.
Just say, Josh, you want to go put on some plates onto a bar and then see how we go? Let's go. Come on.
I have a hole in my spine. You know I can't even do it. The bar itself makes me pass out now.
Oh no.
I will abstain from this one as the 135 is my warm up.
Hate you so much.
I'm pretty close to 225 at this point. Not for much, but I can do it.
I wish I weighed that much.
I work out my core and stuff.
I mean, hey, that's good.
Trying to
But
catch my arms and chest up. Jesus.
uh, so then the end of the montage is Kafka staying up late doing research, which I think this is where Kafka leans into his strong points.
Yeah.
Because I think by that point, like with the montage, you see that Kafka's like really trailing behind in every physical aspect. So this is him realizing, like, well, I need to push myself to be more knowledgeable so I'm able to keep up with them in another way. And then we get the reveal that from the vice captain that every conversation they're having is being recorded and monitored.
Ruh-roh.
Or what you say.
Yep. I feel like that's gonna play a role later on in this show.
Yeah, that felt very Chekhov's gun.
Mm-hmm. And
No, it's just him hearing about Mina.
yep. Well, yeah. I mean, considering they talk about he thinks that Kafka wants his job, Kafka denies it, and then immediately says, "No, wait, actually, I do want your job."
I'm coming for you.
And then he gives him the keys.
Yep. So you better fucking try. Oh, also, don't get attached to anyone you met in these last couple of months because chances are they're all going to die.
Yeah.
And then
That wasn't heart wrenching or anything.
No
yep,
pressure.
and then the episode ends with them scrambling for the mission because they are officially getting sent out to try to take down a kaiju.
Oh no! I hope it's not a strong one.
Yep. So I really liked this episode. I thought it was like this one again kind of has that setup feel to it, where it's a lot of like
Yeah.
setting up what's going to be the new norm for the show now that they're actually in
So
the Defense Force.
it was like the best type of filler episode.
See, I wouldn't even say it's filler. Like, it's not an
Yeah, I
action
didn't really
episode.
see it as filler.
It's not action, but it's a lot of like development of the
It's just like,
characters.
yeah, I give you that.
And like a lot of
But I mean, like,
plot
it's not
stuff.
like them fighting any of the main enemies or any fighting or anything.
Yeah, but without this episode, there would be things lost.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the reason why things are happening in the next episode is directly from this.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like some of the earlier stuff definitely could have just been like scenes in a different episode.
You're not wrong, but I feel like it would have been too much to try to pack some of that stuff into other episodes, and it's a little more organic to have like the setup for the next big arc just be one like episode of this is they're finally in, let's establish what that's like for them right now, and now we're going to set up the next threat.
Yeah, honestly, that was more of an establishing shot. Like it really made sense with the pacing that they had just gotten into the Defense Force. Might as well get them settled in.
Yep. And that leads into our next
And it
episode.
gives you stakes too.
Oh yeah. Like, well, especially with that last conversation where they're told like where Kafka's told, "Hey, don't get used to these people that you've met. Like, don't assume that they're going to be here the next like when you get back from a mission. People die. Like a lot of people die in this job."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the cheerful demeanor that our vice captain has is him being really fucking traumatized.
Oh yeah, he's just coping as much as he can. Which,
Well,
I mean, you get a little more on what his backstory is, and I think like that's also just like a generational thing for his family. Yeah. So then we roll into the next episode. Um, the first thing I wrote down for the next episode, for episode 6, is the evacuation, because I thought that was another element of like really good world building, that we have like that establishing of they are evacuating where the kaiju is attacking, so that like first of all civilians aren't there, and that also sets up that it's easier for the defense force to go all out on the kaiju because they don't have to worry
Yeah.
about casualties.
I had the same observation, though I did have a question for you in regards to that. Do you think this is because they literally show the shot of the evacuation being coordinated by buses.
Hmm.
So it's a public transport system, but it's also, a bus station.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
necessarily the most efficient thing on earth.
I mean,
But so I guess my question is, do you think that the kaijus are a slow moving event, or do you think they have advanced warning? Because the problem with evacuating for any kind of event is how much lead time you get. Like that's the problem with evacuating for a hurricane. Like even with a hurricane, you got 5 days warning.
mhm.
Even a full evacuation order goes haywire immediately.
Well, I think based off of what we've seen in the past, it's just the warnings there the moment they realize the monster's there.
Yep.
Because we had the lizard at the very beginning in episode 1. The moment it popped up, the warning went out,
Hmm.
and then with the
So it's
spider
not
guys,
it's not quite like Pacific Rim where they have like at least a warning before the kaiju appear.
I mean, they might. I think it kind of depends on the kaiju. something that I noticed during this was so like they obviously have like alarms, they have like I would guess announcements. Did you guys notice the stoplights?
No, I didn't.
They have
What's going on with the
the
stoplight?
red at the end with the kaiju
Yep.
skull
So
on
they
it.
have like 3 different normal lights, and then they have a fourth one that's just a kaiju light for when kaiju are attacking.
Oh, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
that. What is
yeah.
the blue one? I wonder.
The
Some
go.
countries do blue instead of green,
Well, they have a blue, green, red, and kaiju.
so it might be that blue is go, green is yield, red is stop, and kaiju is kaiju.
Yeah, kaiju.
Yep.
What does kaiju mean? It means kaiju.
Yep. The fuck do you think it means?
Where do you
It
come from?
means someone's chewing on Taco Bell flavored sunflower seeds. They're Taco Bell flavored, aren't they?
No.
Fucking liar. You ordered in a box full, didn't you?
Like my ninth box. It's literally my snack of choice. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
No, I
uh,
just happened to see a
Okay. No,
sunflower. Like, I know that son of a bitch did it.
yeah.
I literally
He
just
doesn't.
ordered a new box. This is so
You
not
ju-
important to the show.
What
I
is
never
We're
can
important?
good for
find
you.
them.
What is
I
important to
can
the
never
show
find
is
them.
that Kafka pukes on the way there.
Oh God, he does, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He
Oh,
pukes and everyone flips shit about it.
Well, because he's sitting there just. "Hmm."
No, he's trying. That's not him being zen. That's him taking real deep breaths because he's about to throw up.
And then you get that. I love the exchange. Like it's still Ichikawa and Kafka going back and forth. He's like, I was so nervous. I ate too much. You're usually so nervous you don't eat at all.
Yeah. No, they have a great like. That's a great dynamic.
That shows how good of friends they are. That they like he. I know how you'll behave when you're nervous.
Yep. Well, I think at this point they've had to have known each other for like they knew each other before this because we see Ichikawa's first day. How long do you think they've known each other at this point?
Really sure how long it's been since episode one.
I want to
I
I'd
think
say,
say
that's
at least
been
a few
pretty
months.
unclear.
well, I mean, it's definitely been. We have that 3 months of training, so I'm gonna say they've probably known each other like 5 or 6 months at this point.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable.
Hmm. Like they've known each other long enough that like, and they have to spending like a lot of time around each other that Ichikawa just knows what Kafka's like now.
There is a moment. I think we didn't touch on it last
Mhm.
episode where Ichikawa says, and I thought this was an interesting line of his. He's like, "I need to get stronger so that Sensei never has to transform again."
Yep. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
that's something he brings up a couple times
Yeah.
because he's actively trying to make sure that Kafka doesn't have to change so he doesn't get
die.
killed.
It's just interesting how much responsibility for that he's choosing to shoulder
Well, that's because he's a plucky young Japanese man who wants to protect an older gent.
with ice white hair of the gods.
Yep.
Yeah, just what happens if he just finds out Mina kills him?
That'd be so dark. The ending of this anime is just Mina shooting Kafka.
Right
Bro,
in front of him.
I
oh,
mean,
bro, talk about subverting expectations.
that
Uh,
I've watched Madoka. I know how that shit can go sometimes.
I don't put it past the creators to actually do that, but that would be a crazy way to end the series.
Oh yeah. Again, let's
you
watch
think this is
Madoka
gonna be a
sometime.
happy note? Well,
We'll watch.
I'm halfway through that.
Yeah. No, we'll watch Madoka sometimes. It's 12 episodes, and it's just fucking depressing as hell.
Great.
Yeah. Do you like feelings? They're gonna feel bad.
Do you like having emotions? Well, you'll feel one.
Despair.
Yeah.
You're gonna be really sorry that you have feelings.
Yep. That's an anime that, spoiler alert, in order to make sense, has to time loop like 100 times.
Oh
We don't see
no.
it, but it has to happen. Anyway, so we get a good look at the kaiju. I like this thing's design a lot. I think it's
Yeah,
cool
it's
having a
pretty-
fungus kaiju.
Yeah, he seems like a fun guy.
I saw
fired.
that one coming.
You are fired.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Uh, so the language used is Honju and Yoju.
Yep.
Is
Which
that just to don't denote like the main beast and the subordinate
I
beasts?
think so because
I think
they
it's
used it a
like
few
power
other
level.
times. Well, I think they use it with the last group that we saw in
Yeah,
one of
they did.
the
They did,
test. Yeah, I think
which made me think that like the fact that they like reuse those terms made me think it was a class.
I think it's like the Honju is definitely like the big one or like the leader or like I called it like the big bad versus the little bads because the Yojus are clearly the little bads, the like which are still massive, but like the Honjus are the ones that are like destroying buildings, just walking them through, whereas the Yoju
Yeah,
are like maybe the size of like a tractor trailer.
I mean it's probably relative, uh,
Hmm.
and not in our favor.
Yeah. Um, but yeah,
The
we have.
Yoju seem pretty dangerous.
Oh yeah, I mean like all of them seem dangerous. I think any one of those, if I ran into it, would fuck me up in an instant.
Same.
So it's a class system pretty
I mean,
much based on size.
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, it seems like it.
Because Yoju are the smaller kaiju. Hanju are usually uh the bigger kaiju. And then you have the Daikaiju class, which is Kafka.
Which
Okay,
that would
well,
mean that it
Is
would have to be like a power level base then, right?
yeah, because they bring this up a couple times.
when did they bring up Daiju?
The
Daikaiju.
very yeah, I think it's like during the training session because that's what destroyed
I don't remember that.
um Kafka's village.
Okay.
I don't remember that word being tossed around, but all right.
But those are the three classes.
Hmm. Um, so going off that, they specifically mentioned that the Honju in this one is continuously spawning Yoju. That it is just like it's a fungus. It's just sending out spores basically, and the spores happen to be Yoju.
The containment level for this kind of thing is that's gonna be a long trial.
Yep. Which, as the episode goes on, you find out more about what they have to do to try to suppress this. But
So
our
much fire.
oh yeah, and our core cast is a spirited bunch. They are all ready and shouting, ready to go in and try to fuck up these kaiju. And then we get a volley of missiles launched.
Boy, was there.
Yep. A volley of missiles as the fungus kaiju, the Honju, moves forward into the city.
Basically unaffected.
Yep. Just as a kind of a way to show us, like, oh, conventional weapons aren't really going to work against this thing.
We gotta get the defense force.
Yep. Uh, then we get Ichikawa. Well, we get all of them attacking the Yoju, but we get something that I really appreciate, which is Ichikawa is using different rounds than the rest of them.
Oh
Specifically
yeah,
for his play style.
Yep.
the freeze.
Yep. He's
I'm
using
Close
slowing
different.
down
range or
my
whatever.
opponents as I kill them.
which,
Love it.
oh yeah, no, it's really good, and I think that also plays off of something they bring up later on in the episode, uh, which we'll talk about when we get there. Let's talk about one second. I'm going to grab something from the other room because I've been on this headset too long. But let's talk about the redheaded
Uh-oh.
woman who's in charge of that platoon.
Oh, the thirsty one?
Yeah, I specifically also called her thirsty in my notes.
So
She is
goddamn.
so horny for these young men.
Ooh, new
I
recruits.
I'm just saying I wanted to sign up for the Kaiju Defense Force immediately.
Oh yeah, no, it was
She was thirsty and I was willing.
yep. At the same point in time, though, I would put money on if we get an interaction between her and Kafka. Kafka's gonna be like the one guy that she is not interested in at all.
You're
Or
too old.
ah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because like literally I think the subtitle around her was cougar mode or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep, and he's age appropriate, so she's not gonna find him interesting at all.
I was gonna say the other way that they could play that dynamic is that he's the only one who's not interested in her, but they didn't set that up in that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet that it doesn't even go to Kafka being like upset that she's not interested in him. It'll be literally he's invisible to her.
Yep. I would put money on that. Yep. She doesn't even notice him or ignores him.
Completely.
She'll be the one to find out he's kaiju. Just like I want it.
Yeah. No. Immediately she's like, "Wait." But he's
Like, oh,
kaiju.
now he's interesting.
Yep.
What is her name?
Yep.
Is this
Naka
is this
no
after-
Shima.
Oh no, yeah, okay. Cougar mode. Cougar mode is literally what happens, and then you literally get a drooling animation from her.
Maybe it's a different type of cougar.
Sure.
Maybe it's the animal cougar.
Yes. No. We have a white tiger. Now we have a cougar.
I want to know more about the fucking tiger. I want to know more about
I do
Baku.
too. I think that would be fun.
You do realize we get some storytelling about the tiger in the in credit scenes.
Mm-hmm. We get a
Yeah,
little.
I don't know if we're gonna get further
more.
into it.
I feel like we'll get some. We'll get like some actual like in episode development.
But anyways,
on that.
I don't think that the red-haired woman is the only one to be admiring the new recruits. There's a lot of effort, or a lot of time spent saying like, "Oh, the new recruits this year. Ooh,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
oh my,
they
I'm
talk,
losing my self-confidence."
they talk about
Yeah,
specifically
well, they're
that like
strong.
that they talk about that most defense force agents top out at like between 20 and 30% of their
At the
suits
time of their
potential.
retirement.
Yep. And we already have
God,
4 characters that are in that range, one that is close to that range. No, 3 characters that are in that range, one that's close to that range, and one that is way outside that range.
and
we
one not even close.
Yeah. I mean, he's special though. He might not have that one, but he's still a 9.8 on the fucking terror
Fortitude.
scale.
Fortitude.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good point that I like that they brought back up because they talked about that in a previous episode, but it's good to like remind us that this group of cadets are truly exceptional and they show like some of them are already at that point where they are at or above what most seasoned veterans are at.
Yeah, I mean, I think they even kind of make it where a lot of the people who are already on the defense force are like, well, these new recruits surpass me.
Yep. Which, I mean, considering some of them are already in the middle of the retirement range, you can only imagine where they're going from there.
Gonna get some imposter syndrome cooking tonight.
Yep. But then we get another scene with Kafka, which I really appreciate because it plays off of the end of the last episode, where while the rest of them are going through like shooting up the kaiju, he's gone through and he's dissected one.
He's gone through the kaiju.
Yeah, like he's literally cut this thing apart to try to figure out where its core is located at. Because if you hit the core, it's an instant death versus having to waste ammo destroying the body.
And he
And
can find the best place to actually shoot
yep,
them at.
yep, and he makes a point of mentioning that the core isn't where it's supposed to be. Because I would guess, again, being on the cleanup crew, he knows where a core usually is in this type of kaiju. And when he opened it up, it wasn't where he was expecting it to be. It was towards the base of the spine instead of, I would guess, like center mass.
Which kind of leads to something we pick up here shortly about it. Like, these kaiju have been tampered with.
Yep. Well, so that was one of the ways they were tampered with. He does mention
There's another.
another way, which was Yoju typically, it sounds like, don't have reproductive organs, but these ones do. So you need to make sure you dispose of the bodies properly, or even the Yoju will spawn additional Yoju, leading to like
Yeah, just
a huge spiraling effect.
yeah, it's like a hydra.
Oh god, they're fucking after death.
Yep. No, I love that because when Kafka calls it in, it really shows how valuable of a team player he is. Like, again, those 2 points that we brought up, very knowledgeable and very willing to give that knowledge to other people. Like, that is where Kafka shines outside of being a kaiju who is potentially a world destroyer.
Yeah, it's definitely playing a secondary role in his priorities too. Like
Mhm.
the fact that in both of these episodes we don't get one single shot of Kaiju number 8 is is good, I think, for the character development of Kafka and showing that he doesn't have to rely on that. He is still trying to maintain
His
his
humanity.
role as Kafka.
Yep. So after that, we get what I
This is also
called.
noted. This is also noted by the vice captain,
Oh, yeah.
who seems to like not only be suspicious of him, competitive with him, but also seems to be encouraging him.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, it's still his job. He still wants, like, he doesn't want kaiju just go wild. Like, if
Yeah.
there's an easy way to kill them, awesome. If your contribution is that you have no combat ability whatsoever, but you can tell us exactly how to kill these things so everyone else can kill them, cool. You don't sound like a threat, and we can use you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very petty at all.
No, well, and I don't get the feeling that the vice captain is a petty person. I
No,
get the
exactly.
Yeah, I get the impression that he's like extremely dedicated to his job, which we find out a little more about that towards the end of this episode. Um, but he's
Right.
like a very dedicated person who clearly has a fucked up sense of humor as a coping mechanism.
Yeah, he's a millennial.
Yep, he's
Yes, sir.
definitely a
I have no
millennial.
idea what that's like.
Yep. Uh, so then we have the next scene I wrote down is Mina uses that fuck off cannon.
That is a fuck off cannon.
Uh,
I just want
so
to bring up how great Kikaru was before that, though.
okay.
When he's like, hey, shoot them right here. That's their weakness. Kikaru's just like, I make my own weakness
Yeah.
and blows one just completely up.
Well, actually, the way she does it is like the guy says, "We don't know where the weakness is. Wait for intel from the front." And she's like, "Okay, I'll make my own weaknesses."
Yeah.
Like she doesn't actually. We don't actually ever see her reacting to Kafka's new information.
Mhm.
That's close enough.
But yeah, so then we get Mina's fuck off cannon scene, which
She's basically a tank.
I want to know if is that out of a kaiju as well?
it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Like,
We do, for the first time, find out her attunement level.
oh my god, 96%. Jesus
This
fucking
is
Christ.
why she is the hero that she is.
Yep.
She's the influence that she is.
Yep.
She can do things that no one else can.
Yeah, again,
Literally.
I wrote down in order. First shot exposes the core. Second shot destroys the core. Third shot for good measure. Fourth shot because.
I think she fires 6 shots.
I stopped
'Cause
caring
there's
after that one.
Because there's literally there's 4. I
Yep.
know there was a 5th because it happens mid conversation between 2 other characters, and they're like,
Yep.
"Oh, okay." Uh, I think there might have been 5 shots.
Yeah. But 4 was like the ones that I wrote down. Like when I got to the fourth shot because I'm like, all right,
Give the
she's
order.
yeah,
It was just pleasure.
yeah. At that point she's just fucking it up for the sake of fucking it
He
up.
was giving Zombieland shame points, like
Yep.
double tap my ass,
Yep. This thing's gonna be
quadruple tap.
a bloody soup by the time I'm done with it.
And it turns out that she was right, and the biomass was dedicated to a lot of swarming yoju.
Yep.
So she probably took out several hundred
I would say way more
in
than that. She probably took out
yeah, well,
thousands. That thing
easy.
was huge.
So, justified.
Oh
I
yeah.
love how it had a spinal column though, you could see an exposed spinal end. And I was like,
Yep.
that seems weird for a fungus.
I mean, it probably has to have something to support that mass.
I wouldn't think it would be an endoskeleton, but okay.
Never know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a kaiju. What little do I know?
Yep. It's there for the plot. That's all we need to know.
It was there because cool.
Yep.
That was the rule of cool.
Yep. Then we get like a really good conversation between Kafka and the vice captain again.
Yeah,
Where
and you just get a blast in the background while that happens
Yep.
too.
Yep. Where they're talking about how like, okay, so if you want to be by her side, like if you want my job, you've got to be able to do something like that. You got to be able to,
That's what you're competing with, bud.
yep. So you got to be able to do that. And
Also, I'm the cheery ninja who slices things without moving.
yep. He talks about that, like Mina's better with the big kaiju and just like a huge amount of destruction, but he's specifically more suited to taking on like the Yoju
Medium
and
to small.
yep, like taking out anything that's like relatively like maybe bus sized. And we get the Yoju that walks up behind him and he just unsheaths his swords, sheaths them real quick, and it's just diced.
Pretty fucking cool.
Oh, it was such a good scene.
Very very the rule of cool was going on hardcore.
Yep. And that's when it brings up that point that I'd been talking about that he talks about that he comes from a family that have been kaiju hunters for generations.
Yeah, and he attributes that to his training on Yoju, like his ability to handle Yoju as opposed to Hanju.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's where he also brings up that all the captains and vice
We get
captains have gear specifically designed for them.
Yeah, he says, quote, "We each get special equipment tailored to our fighting styles."
Yep, which is why Mina has that giant fucking cannon and he has these two swords.
That he holds in reverse grip like Ahsoka.
Yep.
Yeah, well, because Ahsoka's hero and Ahsoka's great, his fighting style's great. No flaws.
Impractical fighting style. Impractical fighting style.
You prove it.
He's right.
Don't
It's
make
an impractical. It's just
It's fucking
Don't make
horrible.
me.
It's just the
It's a horrible.
It's
Yep.
cool. We're not saying it's not cool.
But yeah.
Yes, it is.
So then we get all the Yoju start swarming out of what's left of the Honju's body, and that the cleanup is basically phase 2 of the mission. That the mission is now, well, the Honju's dead. We've got to kill all these new Yoju that just spawned.
Clean up the riffraff.
And
Not the riffraff.
this is where I think the other, hypothetically, one of the biggest info dumps is in a really short line where the vice captain is talking about who has the most potential, and he specifically says it's Kikoru and Ichikawa.
Yep.
That they both have the most potential because Kikoru obviously is already way above where most veterans are.
I think
But
he says captains.
yeah, like she's probably like, if she wanted to, she could probably have her own division at this point.
Yeah,
If it
probably.
was,
She's being set up to be the next Mina.
yeah. But they
Yeah.
also like specifically Ichikawa, which I like that, and I like that there was actually a lot of subtle build up to that over last episode and this episode. That Ichikawa, first of all, when I did like the math, Ichikawa's had the most growth out of any of them in terms of his suit potential being unlocked.
Yeah,
That
that makes sense.
he had a 10% increase, whereas the next closest was 7%. And that he's also been putting more effort into experimenting with the different types of ammo they have and seeing what the results are of that. Which is why the whole freezing ammo kind of sets him apart from the rest, that he's using something to slow down their enemies instead of just doing full-on destruction.
Yeah, he's using strategy.
Mhm.
So he's playing a higher level game.
Yep. Which is kind of where I think that's supposed to draw a comparison between Kikoru is clearly supposed to be a Mina type, where she just has an insane amount of damage output. But Ichikawa is more of like the vice captain style, where he's got a lot of strategy going into combat.
Yeah. I'll cover the things that you miss.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm kind of hoping that we get like some scenes of them teaming up more. I know that Hikaru kind of flies on her own, and Ichikawa right now is being paired with Iharu. I want to see those two work together and see how they interact now that they're kind of being set up to be the next generation.
Yeah. Speaking of next generation, we do get at this point the red-haired captain getting all over the two guys.
Yep.
The teal-haired and I think the blonde-haired guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says, "You're free to rest and let the veterans do the work. You know, are you gonna fight or rest?" Was there subtext there that I missed?
I think maybe I think it's more she's trying to goad them into doing more because she likes to watch them fight.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I think it kind of turns her on to see them out like doing a lot of damage and being above your typical recruits.
I do want to point out that, and this would have gone over my head a few, maybe even as less as like 6 months ago, but she's the only character that I've noticed that has broken the anime teeth rule.
Oh, where she has individual
villain
teeth?
She has villain teeth.
Yeah, she has individual teeth that have like shape to them. Yeah.
No, they're still just rectangles, but she has individual teeth. She has villain teeth.
I mean,
I'm just saying, I
might.
have seen enough proof that villain teeth is a thing in anime, and she's the only one who has villain teeth.
Although, if we're talking about villains,
God damn it,
we have our ending where
look, Josh, like at 20 minutes and 3 seconds, it's clear she has villain teeth. And she's the only one in that shot. She's in the shot with two other people who who have just a bar of teeth.
Maybe she carved them out herself.
I think that's supposed to make it a little bit creepy that she's hitting on them. I think that's the implication. Is it's supposed to make us a little bit uncomfortable that this older woman is hitting on these younger guys? That this older woman in a position of power is hitting on these younger guys. I think that's what it's supposed to be leaning on.
Okay. All right. Could be. I'm just saying she's the only one with defined teeth.
I mean, hey, we're halfway through the season. We've got another 6 episodes. But
yeah,
the villain. So we get.
You seem so upset by this.
Well, Josh is 4 episodes ahead. He's
You
almost done with the
thirsty
season.
bastard.
He's almost done with the season.
I loved every fucking bit of this show.
As he's watching the
So
next
much so
episode.
you ruin it.
I don't ruin it. I've done things on purpose to avoid ruining it to you.
Ruin it.
So it turns out that Ichikawa asked to kill Kafka in the last episode of the season.
God damn it, yeah.
Yeah, yep. No.
Oh.
No, so the episode ends
By
with
throwing Mina.
Yep. No. So the episode ends. Ichikawa and Iharu run into the kaiju from the last set of episodes. The humanoid one who is transformed into a member of the cleanup crew.
I
And
don't like it.
he is sitting there, like he's crouched down looking at the kaiju, wondering how they figured out how to kill these kaiju, and asks them if they have
that
somebody.
They recognize the reproductive organs.
Yep. And asks them if they have somebody who's really knowledgeable like that.
You guys know anything?
Yep. And that's how our episode ends.
Oh.
I
Terrible.
love that.
Terrible.
No, I love it. It's so good. That's such a good setup for the next
Oh.
episode. Because it immediately puts Ichikawa in danger. Because we've seen this thing.
Yeah.
We've seen this thing fuck up Mina, and Mina has like a crazy high combat potential.
Not Mina, Kiriko.
Oh yeah, Kikuru.
Hikaru.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We've seen this thing fuck her up. Ichikawa's nowhere close to hers. Like he's still high, but he's
like him and what was it?
Iharu.
Iharu, yeah, like Ichikawa and Iharu like together are not
half
Kikaru.
Yep. They're not half. They come up to about half of what she has.
They are fucked.
Yep.
If like now the stakes just got raised.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be like it sets up immediately that there is a huge level of danger going into the next episode. And it sets up that this thing, like obviously it would be aware of Kafka being dangerous as Kaiju number 8. Now it's aware like that there's somebody out there that also understands Kaiju physiology really well.
Yeah, but I don't think that necessarily the connection between those two things has been made.
Not yet, but I would imagine that's going to be a connection
there's been
at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's been no interaction between our unnamed kaiju and number 8.
Mm-hmm. What's the next episode's name? I'm curious.
That would be kaiju number 9.
Okay, so that's going to be its name. That's got to be its name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we're calling that guy. Yep.
Yeah. You thought the Kaiju number 9 name last week was wrong. Or was right. Fuck you were wrong.
But yeah, no,
I'm baked.
Yeah. Of course.
Keep it together, man.
Nah. So let's talk about high point, low point of these last couple episodes. Like there's a lot of highs in these episodes. These are really good episodes.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a lot of up and down. I thought it was all very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, pretty much all high.
Yeah, I'm gonna struggle picking a low.
Cake, you mean?
I'm honestly gonna say high point is probably that conversation between Kafka and the vice captain about that he's gonna have to try to get to Mina's level in order to take his job.
Yeah, I think honestly my favorite bit was the oh yeah, you want to know what my power is? Slice and dice.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's the same scene. It's the exact same scene.
Like that's the yeah, I love every interaction that Kafka and the vice captain have.
Mm-hmm.
But like that was really cool. Almost like that would definitely be my high.
Oh yeah. Man, again, great episodes. As far as low point goes, I mean, I liked this, but it's probably the cringe interruption of the speech.
I'll
Yep,
be next to Mina.
that was
Yep.
my 100% low point.
Yeah.
I could have turned it off at that point. Like, yep, done.
See, that was my high point.
I could see it,
Yeah,
honestly. I could see it.
but we're not here to kink shame Josh.
Hmm. No, that God, that episode. These two episodes were damn good.
And we didn't get hardly any battle per se.
No, not really. Like we got a
Like,
little
there was
bit.
no big fanfare, no big budget pieces.
No, these last two episodes were mostly character builders, which I really appreciate too. Like this is doing a good job of like episode 5 didn't have any action really,
Yeah,
but I
really.
didn't feel
I
like
mean,
it felt
Yeah.
like I
but
don't
they've done so good at setting up these characters to be someone you're interested in that you don't mind spending time with them.
yeah. Yeah, like this did a really good job of making you like comfortable with the fact that you're not necessarily getting those like big action scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to know more about these characters. Honestly, like if they spent a whole like half of an episode on that tech specialist that keeps giving the vice captain shit,
Hmm.
like I want to know her story.
I think we're gonna
She's
have to.
hilarious.
We're gonna have to get some more from her at some point. Like she seems like she's too important without having enough time dedicated to her. Like we're gonna get more from her.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think
Yeah,
they're
she'll be
literally
important in
doing
the future.
I feel like they're literally doing the setup where like she is in her functional role in how you would experience her if you were in this universe is that she's a behind the scenes person who does her job so well that no one knows that she exists. Like if you are working with a sound engineer, a good sound engineer is someone you never notice.
Hmm.
When you have a bad sound product, everybody blames the sound engineer because they fucked up the product. So, like the fact that they're not paying her a lot of mind, but letting you know that she has a character design, she has a name, and she has some lines and that are specifically humorous, she's definitely gonna come back.
Oh yeah.
Okanagi is her name.
Okay.
Say it again.
Okanagi.
Okanagi. That's a cool
Okay.
name.
Yeah. She's got a
That is a nice mouthfeel. Okanagi.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
great consonant and vowel placement. I love the phonetics of the Japanese language.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
She's got to play some big role before the end of the season. Like there's no way
Got
she's
to.
not going to. Like she
I
has
mean,
to.
she's already being set up to be a funny character. She'd be a great addition to the cast.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's everything. So, unless you guys have any final thoughts, sounds like we are
No,
good.
I think
So,
I was gonna say.
I'm real interested to see Kaiju number 9.
yeah. I mean, I think we've already seen him. It's just what we're gonna see from him.
No, to learn the lore. I need the lore.
Yeah, the lore.
I'm invested
Yeah.
now.
All right.
He just wants to be human.
I want to
Okay,
be
sure.
like you. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
He
All
just
right.
wants to be a billionaire.
Yep. So freaking bad. All right. With that, I'm gonna end this. Tune in next time for Kaiju number 8. We are also going to continue doing our Ultraman Blazars. We've gotten to the episodes where we actually had video and it wasn't just audio. So I might play
And
a little double duty so we can start catching up to that before we get to Ultraman Arc starting in July.
and if you look in some of our backlogs, we have some that are video and not audio. It's weird.
Yeah, that one's going to disappear in about like 5 minutes.
No, I like it. You
All
can
right.
just hear me talking.
No, we can hear Alex too. It's just me that's quiet.
Oh goddamn!
Yeah, we're having a conversation with our mutual imagined friend.
Yep.
We're having a collective psychosis.
Yep.
No, we're teaching people how to read lips.
Oh yeah. No, that's
Hey.
the most important part. And that's why
Literally, it's a subbed episode.
Yep. That's why I'm recording with 3 separate fucking programs right now.
Hashtag setup stream.
I told Nick he just needed to record some audio, just like random shit. Doesn't even need to be about the topic, and just dub it over him.
Dude,
For that video.
I'm not gonna lie, I
No,
did sit there for a good like 10 minutes, like, okay, what did I say here? Maybe I can try to redub some of this.
Oh my god.
I was like,
No way.
nope, I'm not even gonna try.
Not for as long as we recorded. I
Yeah,
just
no.
imagine like you literally taking that and just like, okay, taking like the Cubs or the Dodgers, taking the Dodgers radio broadcast and just dubbing that over, like when you'd speak, it'd be like a commentator.
Yep. Oh, that'd be great.
Because the Dodger Stadium is the home of baseball.
And with that, we are going to end our episode.
I will drive several hours.
If you do this to me with Gunhead, I'm doing this to you with Ultraman Rising. Check out our Ultraman Rising episode.
Oh yeah, that'll be up when I actually get to editing all those long phone calls
out. Sorry about
that. Can we just do like a whole episode just badly dubbed us?
I'd be fine with doing that sometime. That sounds entertaining.
That would be a fun experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Just do a fucking random ass video of us and then just dub the shit out of it.
We do a review of one episode of Kamen Rider and one episode of Ultraman, and then swap the audios.
See how it lines up.
Yeah.
Again, I'd be down to do that for like. I like the idea of having the mess up casts. I think it would be fun to have like just a fuck up one, just ones where we're just messing around.
These are for your entertainment only.
Yep. All right, we are going to end this episode of Kaiju number 8. Tune in next time when we talk about episodes 7 and 8. We are halfway through the series. After that, we've got to pick another anime to watch.
I'm glad there's 12 episodes instead of 8. I want more out of Kaiju number 8. So stay tuned.
Anyway, later.
Why?